turn your cell phone off. Just put it on vibrate. The bathroom's in the back. We guarantee there'll be a break. There'll be time to eat. There'll be time to mingle. All your needs will be met. So please turn your cell phone off. Turn it off. Turn your cell phone off. Turn it off. Turn your cell phone off. Turn it off. Turn your cell phone off.
All right, everybody on your feet. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family.
Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Here we go. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Say hello to somebody around you. Here we go. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Hey, hey, hey. All right.
Good morning, Center for Spiritual Living, Palm Desert. How is everybody today? Woo! All right. You are in for a great, great talk today and a great service, great music. That's how we do it here. Great all around. And I'd like to welcome our live streamers. We welcome you. We're grateful you're with us because this is a good day to be here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do announcements today because Reverend Laura is at her daughter-in-law's baby shower today, because you all know she's got her first grandchild on the way, and this is a big deal. So, yeah, we can't wait to meet that little one when it comes. And she'll be here next week, though. Without further ado, let's go ahead and say our mission statement and what we are all about. So please join me as we say, we are a positive faith community that accepts all religions. Our vision is spiritual awakening and personal growth in a world that works for everyone. Our mission is to help individuals discover the spiritual tools and inner power that has the ability to transform lives and make the world a better place, and so it is. Woo! Okay, so on to announcements. This is the last week, because they're taking summer break, the last week for the pet ministry as far as them having their adoption. So if you want a little kitty or a doggy, they're so cute. I went over there and I wanted all of them. They're over in Costa Hall today because of the heat, and they're also having a bake sale as well. So if you want to just go over and buy a baked good and see how cute the little animals are and maybe adopt one, that would be great. Just to let you know, though, our pet ministry, even though they take summer off as far as coming to the center and having animals, they they are here all year long as far as being supportive. And if you're in need of fostering, or you want to foster an animal, or if you have an animal that needs fostering, you can contact Ginny, and I know we've got her number at the office. Next, Francine Ward has the last of her 3-part series for the publishing workshop next Sunday, 1 to 2:30 p.m. So if you're interested in getting in on that, you can either sign up or you can just show up. She's fabulous. So if you've got a book on your heart to write, or you've got something that you've already written, come to the workshop and you'll learn how to make it happen. And she's also added another 2. They're mutually exclusive, but she's got 2 more that she's going to be offering in June and July. June 11th, 1 to 2:30, and July 23rd. And you can see she's going to talk about social media and how the author markets themselves, which is, in our world today, that's where it's at. And then her second seminar will be about how to protect your work with copyrights and that kind of thing. So you can sign up on the patio, and she's awesome, by the way. And if you're still interested and you haven't quite made the commitment to join us on our spiritual trip to Australia and New Zealand, there's still time, so go ahead and sign up if you're interested, or if you have questions. There's someone that will answer every question, because you might want to join in on that. Okay, that's all I have to say today. I'm going to let Jerry Lynn introduce our guest artist for today, but I know her personally. She was a mentor to me to create a professional practitioner business, and she's a practitioner from Agape and an amazing musical talent. So Jerry Lynn, do you want to add to that?
Boy, I don't know if I can, but that was perfect. Yes, and she's an amazing talent, songwriter, singer, pianist, and she works with children. She has a great children's program from the Agape Center. Please put your hands together for Jennifer Russell.
Good morning, powerful ones. I am a center of creation. I am a seed planted in stillness. I am a center of creation. Fertile ground for the highest thoughts of God. I am a center of creation. I am a tree rooted in fullness. I am a center of creation. Fertile ground for the highest thoughts of God. I am a center of creation. I am complete, living in wholeness. I am a center of creation. Fertile ground for the highest thoughts of God. Scott. Center of creation. I am a seed planted in stillness. I am a center of creation. Fertile ground for the highest thoughts of God. I am a center of creation. I am a tree rooted in fullness. I am a center of creation. Fertile ground for the highest thoughts of God. I am a center of creation. I am complete, living in wholeness. I am a center of creation. Fertile ground for the highest thoughts of God. Okay, you know it now. You got to sing it with us. You ready? Here we go. I am a center of creation. Come on, you can do better than that. I am a center of creation. I almost believe ya. Come on. I am a center of creation. Now I want you to look at a neighbor. Look him right in the eye. Come on. You are a center of creation. Let's do that again. You are a center of creation. We are we not? We are a center of creation. We are a center of creation. Let's hear it. We are a center of creation.
There for Jennifer, everybody. Wonderful. Thank you, Jennifer. Got it? Thanks, Bliss. All right. Good morning, everyone. Let's continue that consciousness. Take a deep breath in. Close your eyes. Let yourself just sink into the chair and let it support you. Ah, that feels good. Take another deep breath in. Let's focus on that idea right now that you are the center of creation. We are the center of creation. And many times in our lives, we can get very bogged down by the complicated voices and scenarios going on in our head. And when we just moved into the silence of something, when we can move into a quiet space, we can recognize that that seed of creation is already planted within us. But sometimes it requires that we take just a few moments and move into that place. And so that's our opportunity right now to do so. And in that idea, take another deep breath in, sigh on the exhale. Doesn't that feel good? Yeah. Sometimes that feels good just to sigh on the exhale to go, okay, I'm here. Just concentrate on your breath, on the very essence of the heart that is beating you into life. It's pulsating through you now. One more deep breath in. Loving Spirit dwells in me. This is my serenity. As within, all around, all I need is here and now. Where there's air, let me love, and I have no fear. All the power, all the glory, I surrender, let it be. Loving Spirit dwells in me, now and evermore.
Good morning, Center for Spiritual Living, Palm Desert, and all those live streaming now. I recognize that there's a singularity in this universe, a power, a creation of all, a spark, where all life emanated from. And I recognize that I am one with that spark. That eternal life is my life. I am connected to it at all times. And it is in that knowing that I claim the truth of who I am. I live in the ebb and flow of energy. That energy is a life essence within myself. And so as I go forth this day, recognizing that connection, I allow myself to be centered and rooted in the truth of my being. That I have divine essence within me. All ideas, every idea is available to me. I just allow myself to be open and receptive to that connection, to that insight, that inner peace. So regardless of my past, the truth is that right now I am an expression of God. And as I express this connection, joy, happiness, and fulfillment are mine because I give that out into the world. That is my gift to myself. As I give love, I receive love. And so through my creative process of living my life, I know I bring joy and happiness to those around me. My life goes out like ripples in the water of a pond. And it is in that knowing I am so grateful. Grateful that I have a self-awareness of my divine connection. Peace and joy are mine. I am so thankful and so grateful for this teaching, for Dr. Joe and his wisdom. There is a connection within me, a connection that's always been there, a connection I recognize right here and right now. And so I give great thanks, knowing the truth of who I am. And so I release my word to the law of mind, knowing it is done completely and wholly. And together we say, and so it is. Amen.
In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release from a world full of chaos and noise. So I awake in this holy silence. I hear all that has never been said. And right here, in this holy silence, we find God when we find ourselves. In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release from a world full of chaos and noise. So we awake in this holy silence. We hear all that needs to be said, and right here in this holy silence we find God, when we find ourselves. And I find God when I find myself. And you find God when you find yourself. Let's take a deep breath in, please. Please join me. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me, sending out joy. I send my joy over the mountains. I send my joy over the sea. I send my joy into the heavens, and it returns to me, sending out peace. I send my peace over the mountains. I send my peace over the sea. I send my peace into the heavens, and it free. Sending out love. Sing it out, please. I send my love over the mountain. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me, and it returns to me, and it returns to me.
There's only light. We are the light. There's only light. We are the light. This is the truth and the beginning of everything. You are the light from the great sun. I am the light, born of the one. This is the truth and the beginning of everything. Light flows from one source. It cannot be divided. Light is everywhere, in all places, at the same time. The light. There's only light. We are the light. This is the truth and the beginning of everything. The light from the great sun. I am the light, born of the one. This is the truth and the beginning of everything. of everything.
Well, Jennifer, thank you. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you so much. And let's hear it for this band and these singers who do a great job for us every week. Watch out for that tree, right? So good morning. So before we start the service today, I want to show you something. Many of you might not be aware of this. First of all, I want to thank William for stepping in. He had to step in and do a prayer while someone wasn't able to be here. William, take them to our website, please. So this is, if you have a computer, this is how you get to our website. You gotta be careful. There we go. All right, so if you haven't been to our website, we're starting to close caption. We just closed captioned our prayer workshop. So William, can you take them to the prayer workshop, please? So all of our services are online. And see, look at that, how to pray class. So like William came up and he did that prayer. And we teach the 5 steps of prayer. If you don't know how to pray and you haven't taken one of our classes, just go to our website. You can log in right here and it's even closed captioned. So the words are underneath. There is a workbook that you can download ahead of time with the PowerPoints on it. So I want to make sure that as we enter into this summer months and we're talking about creativity this month, that you actually tap into some of the resources that maybe you haven't used yet. So I would encourage you, if you haven't done it, to go to our website, click on that, and that's how easy that was to get there. And I think it's about a 45-minute workshop. Watch it several times till you understand it. It talks about the 5 steps of prayer that you heard William pray just a few minutes ago. It's a great tool to use, especially as we're going to venture into this topic today, which is about creativity. Thank you, William. And you don't need to see me talk like that. Okay, good. But I appreciate that very much. It's funny how you look at a video like that and you go, oh, wow, I can't believe my hair looks like that. Okay. So today we're going to talk about the spark, and William referenced it in his beautiful prayer. Today's the spark, going from the nothingness to insight in our life. Taking what may appear to be a situation where there's nothing going on or nothing happening exciting, and moving into an insight that indeed there is something moving upon something within you that's going to create something new. All right, hang with me. All right, here is your affirmation. It's really simple today. Come on, universe, light my fire. Woo! Hit the spark, right? Come on, universe. Invite the universe to start lighting it up. A lot of times we limit our own light. We just say, oh, there's nothing going on in my life. That's not igniting anything. When we affirm and we discuss with ourselves and our friends all the things that aren't working in our life, or I'm bored with this, or I'm not doing that, or I'm overwhelmed even, it's like, come on, universe, light my fire, focus on things, show me the way. We have to invite the universe in to do things like that. Albert Einstein, who was actually a student at Founders in the Science of Mind, he actually was one of the original students with Dr. Ernest Holmes, he said this quote, creativity is intelligence having fun. Creativity is God, spirit, universe, intelligence, whatever you want to call it. That creativity is the universe having fun. It can only do it one way, and that's by means of us. And if you look at Albert Einstein, remember those pictures sometimes you see Albert, he looks kind of composed. Other time he looks like an axe murderer, you know what I mean? His hair is all over askew. And if you saw him walking down the road, you'd go, ooh. You know, by the outside appearances. But here's a brilliant mind. Here is a brilliant mind telling all of us, and I love that he teaches this. He says, creativity is intelligence having fun. It's intelligence on fire within you. It's that spark within you. The dangerous part comes from giving up when you do lose the feeling of passion, calling it quits and accepting the fact that you just don't have it in you. That's not the truth. The problem that we have is we tell ourselves if something's not working the way we think it should work, we throw in the towel. We go, oh, you know what? Not meant to be. I guess I'm not supposed to have this. I'm not supposed to do this. It was never meant to be part of my life. It's God's will. That's another one of my favorite ones. It's God's will that I don't have everything, right? No, it's not. The problem is when we start losing that passion, we disengage our own dreams. We disengage our own potential. We are the ones who put out the spark. When that happens, when we begin to quit, we turn off the fire. All right? We dim it down so that it's hardly recognizable. And that's when we suffer, and that's when we struggle, and that's where we can't find our identity, and that's where we're always in crisis, and that seems like when we're having fights with people back and forth. That's that time when we call it quits and accept the fact that I just don't have it in me. Yes, you do. We all do. The only thing is we've been defining creativity in such a limited way, and I'm going to teach you that in a minute. Over time, the world seems to divide us into creatives and not creatives. And too many people, consciously or unconsciously, resign themselves to the latter category. We think because I'm not artistically creative, that I'm not a creative person. We are using our creativity all the time. I remember as there's a story, when Carly was a little kid, when our daughter was little, she loved waffles in the morning, right? And I don't make waffles. I push down the toaster and make Eggos, right? Like on my Eggo. So I push the toaster down and out comes this little waffle-like looking thing. And I'd put it on the plate and it was like, that is so boring. You know? So I thought, so Trey and I, being I don't find myself to be creative, but Trey's creative, but we took the syrup and we designed the syrup a little way. And then one day we pulled out the whipped cream, and instead of just make it a glob, we put little dollops around it. And then, let's go get some sprinkles. So we put some sprinkles on top of the whipped cream. Of course, then we wonder why she's so high maintenance now. But the reality is, we were creative with an Eggo. A waffleette. Right? It's not even a full-fledged waffle. It's waffle-like. It's waffle-adjacent. But we sat there and you make it creative. You're constantly doing that from the moment you got up this morning. You walked in autopilot, but everything you did was creative. Every time you solve a problem in your life, it's creative. Every time you work on your relationship, and if you hit into a bump and you resolve it, it took creativity. Not the kind that designs things on a computer or graphically or paints or sings. No, we're constantly using a spark in our life to create things in our life. So stop defining creativity as only being an artistic thing when you're constantly being creative. You're being creative when you accept a health regimen or go into treatment or decide to treat an illness. That's creativity. You're allowing yourself to be open and receptive to an energy that's going to move things through you. Together, please. Come on, universe. Light my fire. Creative minds are rarely tidy. I know everybody's going, yes, my junk drawer is real. No. Not tidy on the outside. Creative minds are busy on the inside. That's where things spin around in our life. Does anybody get that spinning going around in your head where you got several ideas going on at the same time? Okay, 4 of us. Wow. Why are you guys here? You're all healed. Go home. But seriously, the creative mind sometimes appears to be a very confused mind because there's so much going on in our heads. That's the universe spinning around and calling us to take action. Now, if we don't take action, things continue to spin and never come into form. That's where the problem lies. When we let things spin, and we spin ourselves physically and emotionally and mentally and spiritually, we're always moving like this. But when we finally decide to take action on it, it takes the spin off and it becomes manifested in form. Start by not being afraid when creativity dims. The spark is still there, you just can't see it, feel it, or touch it. Let the ebb work for you and not against you. We're in an ebb and flow kind of a universe. And not everything's gonna feel creative. Sometimes we feel like we're not in touch with that. In fact, sometimes we think we're touching the opposite of creativity. We're talking about destruction or change, and that's still good. But don't be afraid to enter into that unknowing area where creativity doesn't seem to be there. It's there. It will always be there. You can't get rid of it. You just haven't tapped into it. It's resting. It's like a wave. It's like how it comes back and gathers its strength to come forward again. Don't be afraid of the receding part of the wave. It's part of the natural ebb and flow of all good things. Does that make sense? The energy that makes up the universe is constant. It never runs out. For example, on Sunday afternoons, about 2 or 3 o'clock, I'm really tired. I'm just physically tired. This is kind of busy up here, right? And I'm physically tired, and I get on the bed, and then a friend of mine will text and go, let's go dancing. And suddenly, boom, I'm not tired anymore. And it has nothing to do with chemicals or alcohol. It's a consciousness. And suddenly I'm like, I'm not tired anymore. I'm raring and ready to go. Let's go, let's go. And I go out dancing for a couple hours. Now, a few minutes ago, I'm like, oh my God, so tired, just want to lie down. Just give me a minute. Ping, let's go dancing. The same thing happens when the energy is constant, it never runs out. Think about how when sometimes you're engaged, ceiling fans, please. Sometimes when you're engaged, not in ceiling fans, but when you're engaged in an activity and you look at your watch and you go, oh my God, that time has flown by. The day has flown by. Now, when you're in a creative place, days fly by, don't they? When you're busy doing stuff and engaged in life, the days, they whiz away. They stop going like this when you feel like you're not being creative, where the hours stack upon other hours, where there's inactivity and you've chosen not to engage. Does that make sense? That doesn't mean it's not there. It's just that you've chosen not to engage it. Because again, if someone called and said, let's go do this, you'd be like, okay, I'm going, I'm out. Let's go shopping. Let's do whatever it is. Let's go to dinner. All right? Creative passion ebb and flows, and sometimes it can feel like it disappeared and won't return. Sometimes that ebb and flow, it just feels like it's gone, and I don't know what to do about it. But we have to understand it's part of the ebb and flow. How many people have had how many people have had a divorce or breakup? Oh, that's a big group. There's a lot of people. And half of you other one are lying because you're not raising your hand, but that's okay. I'll get you out of hell one time with that, okay? But it's just like I remember one time, I thought, oh my God, my life is over. I had broken up with someone, and there I am with Patti LaBelle and Michael McDonald on the radio singing On My Own. And I'm wrapping up my boxes, packing up my stuff, moving from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, going, on my own, how could it end this way? And I'm crying, and I'm thinking, oh my God, what am I gonna do? And it's the best thing that ever happened to me. I didn't know it at the time because I was crushed, or I thought I was crushed. It felt crushing. It felt that way, but it really wasn't that way. That was part of the ebb and the flow. It was part of the receding of something for something new to come forward. I can't fear the recession of something for the new thing to come forward. I have to accept the ebb and the flow, because if I understand that my greater good is always unfolding and that I am made in the image and likeness and a child of God, then how could it be anything but that? It's never the end, it's always the middle. That's what I have to remind myself. Together, please. Come on, universe, light my fire. To live a creative life is to give up the fear of being wrong. Many times we won't even venture into something because we know we're not going to be perfect at it. But you don't even try. You don't even try. It's okay to try. It's okay to fail. It's okay to flounder. It's okay to not do well the first time out. And you learn what you know. You learn what not to do in those situations. So they're still learning situations, but don't be afraid to venture out. There is a natural rhythm in life. It's part of the creative law. Even in winter, creativity is happening on the earth. It just looks and feels different. Not necessarily here in wintertime because everything's green, but I was born and raised in Michigan. And in Michigan winters, everything looks dead. Even the people look dead while they're driving. The whole time it's spent, but the trees look dead, the grass is brown or looks dead, even unless it has snow on top of it. Everything just looks gray and dead. But as I do, stuff's still happening that you don't see. Because the spring's gonna come and that stuff's all gonna change. We go through those seasons, so to speak, of our own life. So what? You may be in a winter. Hey, every winter, spring is right around the corner, right? Every year. What follows winter? Spring. So it's okay to be in that ebb and flow. It's a natural creativity. It's the natural rhythm of life. Society has made us believe that something is not creative or beautiful unless it's recognized. Yeah, that's all ego stuff. This isn't about being recognized. How many people are going to recognize you? And is it really important if they do, if you make a change in the pattern of your health? If you decide to change the pattern of your health and get creative in the arena of health, how many people are going to recognize it? Maybe one or two, if they even that. But why is that important? You don't do it to be recognized. You do it because it's the right thing to do. Same thing with your finances or your relationships. It's not about recognition. It's about creating something for yourself, making the decision for yourself to do something to change the outcome of your life. It's pretty simple, actually, and it doesn't require recognition. Anything can become creative experience if you bring enough awareness and love into it. Like I said, it's not whether it's a waffle or whether it is your relationship. It doesn't matter. You bring love and awareness into a situation, it will grow. It will flow. When you bring denial, anger, resentment, hostility, or any type of negative energy, the energy is going to flow, but you're not going to like the result of that energy. Does that make sense? When you bring love and awareness to it, it's going to change for the greater good. When you bring anger or resentment or any kind of jealousy or anything like that, guaranteed that's going to create more of a challenge in your life. Together, please. Come on, universe, light my fire. Life is one big canvas. Throw all the paint you can on it. Many people dish out their energy. I have to save it. I have to save it. Okay, I'm only going to put one color and one dot on my canvas because I need to hold back this other stuff just in case I need it. What the hell is that? Now you have one dot, one color, boring. Throw your paint and your life and your energy onto the canvas. Throw caution to it, man. There's no other way to do it. You can always err on the conservative side, but that's an error on the conservative. It's an error. It's not prudent. Hey, allow yourself to throw your energy into stuff, and you'll be amazed. The second you throw your energy, more energy will show up because your passion will light up. There will be a spark within you that ignites that says, you know what? That's exciting. I want to keep doing this and not just make it a limited thing. Does that make sense? When you are creating something, don't judge it. Ooh. Just become consumed with your experience. It'll be perfect in that moment. Try not to judge it while it's still baking. You know? You would, if you were a judge evaluating a baking contest, you wouldn't go into the oven of a participant and pull the cake out while it's still baking and make your evaluation, right? Why do we do this with our own lives? Why do we do this with our own lives? While something is in process, why do we feel the need to evaluate it? I know in the human condition. In the human condition, I want it to look a certain way or feel a certain way at a certain point in time, or I don't think it's working. You can turn off the air, William, you can turn the fans off now. People are starting to shiver. I'll sweat, you can shiver. When you're creating something, don't judge the middle of the baking process. The problem we have when we judge in the middle of the baking process is that if it doesn't look right or taste right or feel right, we will lower our expectation as to the result. And as soon as we do that, the universe will what? It will meet our expectation. So you will have lowered your own demonstration by opening the oven too soon. The souffle will fall. Does that make sense? Yeah. So when you're being creative, allow the process to work all the way through. And it might not look the way you want it to look at. Like I said, when I was singing on my own,
Me and Patty, it certainly didn't look like my life was going to be what it turned out to be. But thank God it did. Thank God I did what it did so my life can be the way it is now. Does that make sense? When you create through the ego, you're constantly seeking approval from others. You will not create something unique because you are trying to please everyone. This isn't about trying to please everyone or the appearance for everyone. It's about allowing yourself to create something good that you enjoy, that doesn't harm others, doesn't take anything away from others, but allows you to not feel like you have to please everybody all the time. Create some space for you just to be you. You've heard that 1,000 times. But in the creative spot, we don't do that because we feel obligated. If I'm going to take care of you, then that means I have to take care of me less because I'm giving you me. I can't repeat that. But you know what I'm saying, right? You followed it? Okay, good. Meister Eckhart said, God is at home. It's we who have gone out for a walk. I love that. God's always home. We just kind of walk out every once in a while. But that doesn't mean you can't walk back in. I like that. The universe is always where it is. It's the constant. It doesn't move. We move. We go in and out. We ebb and flow. We go in, we go out. We go in, we go out. This reminds me. A lot of people come to the center like that. They ebb in, right? They retreat in when things are wrong. When things get fixed, they leave until they retreat back because something else goes wrong. And then they leave again when we fix them, and then they come back, and they go and come back and go and come back. But they haven't figured out is you don't have to, what you should do is be a constant. And you'll see it, you don't have to go through such big swings. Which is why when you learn how to pray, go to that workshop online, when you learn how to pray, you'll find that you're designing your life, not just walking through it. What you see in your life depends entirely on where you stand. It depends on my viewpoint. I have gotten up on a Monday morning and looked at certain things in my life and went, oh my God, this is a mess. And my emotions take over, and my body gets upset, and I get all sweaty and hot and uncomfortable, and I feel all that angst. And for some reason, the situation doesn't change, but by Thursday, my attitude has. And so it looks differently. It didn't change. It's still the way it is, but I'm looking at it differently. So it all depends on how you're looking at it. Through what lens are you looking at it? And if we know this, we have this awareness that we can look at something and go, wait a minute, if it looks this way, I need to back up and change the way I'm looking at it. Does that make sense? Igniting the spark of creativity requires that we surrender, not control. Oh, not good for me. No. I like to be in control of all of it. I don't surrender easily. I'm a control freak. But you know what I was thinking when I was singing that song today? I surrender, let it be. You know, I surrender. Doesn't mean I surrender, you win. It's not saying I surrender, the illness wins. I surrender, my financial situation wins. I surrender, that other person wins. It's not saying I surrender to that. You surrender yourself into the process of creativity without controlling every single thing around it. When we control everything around it, that means we have no faith in God to be God to create something greater than we can even imagine. When you control it, you're controlling it with the finite mind that created it, your mind. When you turn it over and you surrender to a greater mind, there are greater possibilities that you have yet to even be made aware of. Trey and I went through this, and you saw me mourn months ago. And it turned out, so I want to share this little story. So Trey and I worked really hard. We worked really hard to get our daughter into college, right? Parents, you know what I'm talking about. It's not just their journey, it's a family journey. And we had worked really hard with her to get into college, and she got into a really great college, and we were really excited about that. It was a 4-year Jesuit college up in San Francisco, and we're like, yay, Snoopy Dance, Snoopy Dance. First of all, she's moved to San Francisco, double yay. Okay. So after the first year, she decided that she didn't want to do that anymore. So she decided she was going to quit that 4-year college, the Jesuit, and then go to a community college, which is nothing wrong with a community college. But for us, the dream had a sequence, and it didn't include that part of the journey. Does that make sense? And so Trey and I, not her so much, but Trey and I were upset about it. We were mourning because our dream, not hers, silly parents, our dream wasn't being fulfilled like we had planned for her, right? Well, she went to that college in Santa Barbara, the community college, and within the first few weeks, she decided, I want to take a flying lesson. And that, you've heard the story already, she just got her multi-engine license a week ago. So now she's like progressing. Now, had she not done that, and what appeared for us, we were trying to control things instead of surrendering to a process greater than us. Once we surrendered to it, we're like, holy cow, what were we thinking? Here we and then we're thinking, oh my God, we tried to control all this. If we would have just surrendered to a process and just allowed it to be, look what happened. Look what happened. And so now she's on her way to becoming a commercial pilot. It's amazing to us. And that never would have been on the horizon if she'd have still been in San Francisco. Never. It would have, something just happened. But we had to surrender to it instead of try to control it. And that's what my point is, that igniting of the spark requires a lot of times that we surrender control of things and just surrender to something greater that knows more than we do. Hard to believe. I keep telling myself that's the case, but an idea without action, this is the last slide, an idea without action will never grow bigger than the brain cell it once occupied. Tiny little brain cell, only seen through the eyes of a microscope. Pure potential. That's about as big as it's going to be until you take action. If Orville and Wilbur Wright had thought that way, we would not have the industry that we have today that moves us around the world. If they'd have had that little idea just stuck up in their little brains and never did anything about it, how would that have changed the world? So we have to look at that and we have to say, you know what? It can occupy that tiny little space in my brain, or I can take action on it and make something happen. This month we're talking about creativity. In fact, I don't know if you know this or not, there's free journals in the lobby, and we have a lot of them, and I want you to take them. This week, May 21st, it says this: there is an urge to express in all people, and this urge, operating through the channels of creative mind, loosens energy into action and compels the individual to do something. Back of all this desire is the impulse of spirit to express. In humankind, this impulse must express at the level of human consciousness. Some express themselves constructively and some destructively. And then has a question for you to journal this week. How do you use and express the creative power in the universe in your life? So let's look at that. I'm going to go a little bit longer. There are 5 parts of your life. There's health, there is your financial success, there is your creativity, self-expression, there is your relationships, and there is your spiritual journey. All right? So if you take those 5 components and you put every one of them in a silo, each one of them creates our whole life in the aggregate. But we normally don't pay attention to something until its silo is almost depleted. We watch it go down, but we don't do anything to create anything in its place. And it doesn't become an emergency until the silo is completed. What I'm trying to say here, and what we're trying to get across this month, is the idea of creativity is to look at your life in the aggregate and work on all these silos simultaneously so that they won't dip down into that dangerous territory of depression or anger or resentment or scarcity. So when you have that consciousness, when you have that awareness, and you can use your creativity to develop those things, everything will change. And it seems to me, just an observation, when one thing moves, other things move. If I'm happy in my job, suddenly my relationships seem to go smoother. My health gets better. Things flow easier, right? If I'm happy in my relationship, my job feels better. My health feels better. So they're all connected. You can't just separate them into silos. While they exist in silos, look at the aggregate and understand that that's what we're asked to do. And so one little brain cell is going to change all of these different things, but only if you act on it. And so ends your lesson. Thank you.
Wow. How many of you needed to hear every single word today that he said? Me too. Thank you, Dr. Joe. Well, I'd like to ask the ushers to come forward. This is the time of our service where we give our love offering, our offertory. And I don't know if you guys know this, but we really, really, really rely on your donations and your love offerings to support our center so that we can be here all year long to give you the inspiration that I know you so enjoy. So you can text your tithe if you like. The information is behind me. Those of you who are live streaming, there's a section on your screen where you can give us a donation. So any way you can get that to us, we're grateful, exceedingly grateful. All right, so let us say our prayer. Join me as we say together. I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and prosper. I know my offering and my commitment to the center allow us to do great work in the world, and so it is.
God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my joy. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my love. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
Right on. Thank you. And so let us bless this money that is going to be going out into our community to support our center. And did you know that it comes back to you pressed down and overflowing? I don't know if you know that part. Okay, so let's stretch your hands out and let's bless this bounty as we say together, we bless this gift. We send it forth to heal and prosper. We know our offering and our commitment to the center allow us to do great work in the world. And so it is. Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I would like to invite anybody who is here for the very first time to please stand up because we have a gift we want to give to you. And if we can't find you, you're not going to get your gift. So please stand up. Don't be bashful. You don't have to talk. You've been given a CD case with some information about our center, and if you go to the counter in the lobby area after services, we will give you a CD to listen to. It's got Dr. Joe's inspirational message on there, and it's an absolutely wonderful thing to have in your car. And we would love for you to become a part of our spiritual community because it is a great place to be. Lots of support, lots of love, and lots of enlightenment, I might add. Are the people here with the pets? Okay, we got the pet ministry to show you what you need to go get. Oh.
We have 8-week-old Shih Tzu Terrier mixes here, and the kittens, and little Lamar over there, who looks like a Terrier Poodle mix. But we are in Costa Hall, so take time to come across the patio, and we have a bake sale. Thank you.
You got to get one. You got to get one, or two, or three. Kitties. Oh, wow. I don't think I've ever heard this much oohing and awing over the animals before. This is a first. That tells me that many of you need to go get yourself a lovely little dog or cat. Okay. And a hush fell over the room. Okay. I tried. Anyways, I think we've got the the 1 Minute Miracles. Following services, if you need a prayer, we've got practitioners over in the Om Room, and they would love to give you a prayer if you're going through a challenge, or if you just need support for something wonderful that is sprouting up and coming into full bloom in your life. They are there for you, so just go over there and they'll give you a prayer. We've got our calendar posted behind me, lots of stuff going on this week. So if you just want to come and join a class or a sacred circle or meditate, we got it for you. And I think that's it. I'd like to thank everybody that was a part of this service before we leave. The band, Jerry Lynn, the guys in the back, William, and all you guys that help us back there, right on. Thank you. The practitioners and ministers that hold this center up and bless you tenfold every day of the week. Dr. Joe for being so amazing and keeping us where we need to be. Yeah. And all the people in the office, Julie and Elizabeth and Steve, we thank them and bless them. And most of all, we thank you for being in our community, because if you didn't come here, we wouldn't be able to do this. And we love you tremendously. And we are always here for you, and we're glad you're here today. So without further ado, let us pray. I invite you to close your eyes and join me in consciousness as we go deep within and see that deep within our soul lies that creative spark of life that is of God. And so today is the day that we ignite that spark and let our creativity go into the infinite, so that we can bring into our lives all that is our divine inheritance to experience: love, perfect health and wellness, joy, peace, prosperity, and that creative flow that is unending. And so I am knowing that we are ready to take our lives to a new level, knowing it begins with that creative spark. It goes by saying, universe, light my fire. And so we light that fire this week, and we do not let it go out, because that is the fire of our soul. That is where our purpose is. That is where our life energy begins. And we let Spirit express in, as, and through us by means of us every single moment of every single day, because that's how you make life work. And so I am knowing that our lives are so blessed this week, that the universe is showering its goodness in every area of our life as we rise up and we connect to God in a way we never knew we could before, and just let God guide us and be the creative outlet of all that it is. And so knowing in my heart and soul that everything is in its right and perfect order, that good is flowing without hesitation into our lives, because we say, yes, please do your thing, God. And so with that said, I know that all is unfolding through grace and ease, through love and law, through divine right order and action, as we say together, and so it is. Amen. Have a great week. I don't know what came over me. You go, girl.
Think of your fellow man.